All right, we're live. Today we're going to get into natural law theory, and if we have time, which we probably should, I don't intend to spend a whole lot of class time just going over theory. I want to get really into the nitty gritty and focus on actually applying theory in practice. This is a class on contemporary ethical issues, so you can kind of think of this first part of the semester as learning some vocabulary, learning the basics, learning kind of the framework, and then most of the bulk of the semester will be actually doing some ethics, and it'll be a little bit more active. So, but again, today we're going to focus on natural law theory, and probably I'll make a few comments if we have time at the end. We'll see how, if time permits. We'll talk about some other different ways in which ethics and religion interrelate, because natural law theory, it doesn't have to be religious, doesn't have to be tied to religion, but the version that's probably the most popular is usually associated with Catholicism or some form of Christianity, and so that's the one I'm going to be teaching. I'm getting this from St. Thomas Aquinas. In fact, and I'll write his name down in just a moment. Better give him credit where credit is due. But let me, just to sort of review things here. Last class we talked about virtue ethics, right? So we were talking about Aristotle and virtue ethics in general. So ethics is being good and determining what's right or wrong is dependent upon what is going to bring you fulfillment, self-fulfillment, and that is our eudaimonia, happiness, being the best version of yourself you can be, and what is going to get society, if you're looking at what's good and bad for society, what is going to get society towards its goal, its telos, its aim. And so he focuses on virtues, developing good character traits, bravery, temperance, prudence, these sort of ethical skills, being just. So that's the focus of Aristotle. Today we're going to look at natural law theory. Ethics is going to be based upon an understanding of nature. That's kind of the basics, so we'll talk about that today. That's going to be the focus. I think on the schedule it actually said we were supposed to go over contractarianism today, but I felt like it's actually better to do that next. So that will be next class. I told you you go ahead and get started on the reading for Hobbes. We're not going to go in super detail in the reading, but it's a good way. It's a good introduction to contractarian approaches to ethics, and also he's a hedonist too. So you learn a little bit about hedonism as well. So that's next meeting, right? So this meeting, natural law theory, next meeting, contractarianism and hedonism. And then a week from today, we'll do consequentialism and then I guess Kantian ethics, which will be like at the end of the week next week. And then we'll be done. We'll be done with all the normative ethical theories. And then so by the end of the week next week, I will probably have an assignment posted for your first essay. And so that will probably be due sometime in a couple weeks. So not next week, but week after next. It all depends on how long it takes me to get through all this stuff. But as I said earlier, I don't intend to go into super depth about all this stuff. So let's get back to the PowerPoint I just began. Excuse me. So the subtitle of this PowerPoint I have written up here is ethics and religion, and I'm gonna repeat myself. I might keep repeating myself again and again. I don't want to give you the impression that natural law theory is synonymous with religious ethics. There are other approaches to religion and ethics, and that's why I wrote the subtitle, because I'm hoping that at the end of the class today, at the end of our meeting, I'll have time to talk about some other approaches and other ways in which you might tie ethics and religion together, or not, or you might want to keep them separate. Just don't know if we're going to have time for that. We'll definitely have time for natural law theory, And so let's get started on it. I mentioned St. Thomas Aquinas, so I guess I should go ahead and I'm going to put his name here at the bottom. So Aquinas, St. Thomas Aquinas, he's considered by many to be the greatest theologian of all time, and so he's still widely celebrated by most Catholics. You know, the Catholic faith. I don't know how to measure that sort of thing, but the bulk of Catholic doctrine is based on Aquinas, on Thomas Aquinas. There are other church fathers, obviously, and through the years, through the centuries, the church has developed, but a lot of the main doctrines can be traced back to the work of this guy. So he's a pretty big deal in the world of theology, and he's had a big impact on even non-Catholic theology, right? So he's pretty important. He's pretty, like I said, pretty big deal. I'm giving you sort of his version of natural law theory, and maybe, you know what? Before I get into all these sort of different, because for him, natural law theory kind of fits into this greater, bigger picture of things. So maybe what I'll start with just sort of a basic, generic definition of natural law theory. And then we'll come back and see a more detailed, fully worked out type, the one that we get with St. Thomas Aquinas. Now my screen is completely frozen. Okay, now it seems like it's going back in. Okay, let me see if I can get a new slide up here without causing too much of chaos. All right, well, I left clicked over the new slide icon. Yay, okay, there we go. Now my screen is frozen. I got a new slide, but I got a frozen screen. Okay, now it's back to normal. My poor computer. Okay, so let me do this. Let me get you guys a definition of natural law theory, just sort of a basic definition. If I can. Geez, I'm trying to click on the darn thing so I can type. Okay, so natural law theory. Now let me do this. It's going to be like a three-part definition. Basically, and a lot of this too, I would say at least part 1 and 2 of this definition doesn't really contradict anything I think I said about Aristotle. And so there are some who argue that Aristotle himself was actually a natural law theorist. That's controversial. Some would say he's not, and if he is, he certainly isn't of the same type as Aquinas. But you know, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I lean towards Aristotle not being a natural law theorist. But so I'm just kind of giving you a warning. I'm going to give you this definition, and the first 2 parts of the definition might sound a bit like, hey, that's something Aristotle might say or be on board with. So the first part of natural law theory is the assertion that the world, or better yet, the universe, right, all of reality, is a rational or natural order. Okay. And humans have reason, and so are able to understand and utilize this order. All right, and so and in fact, let me add to that first part. The world, the universe. Today, we're going to be thinking about laws of science. You know, maybe there's the laws of gravity, the laws of physics I mentioned, maybe chemical laws of combustion and fusion and fission and all these, laws having to do with biology. I think I lost everybody. Damn.